new morning. Ed's been up since goodness knows what time, the crack of dawn, checking the fuel. So that's the fuel, and he thinks there's got no water in it at all.
Well,
that you can really see.
Looks clean to me.
So it's now, what time is it? The time is
8 o'clock.
About 8 o'clock, and we're going to move off to our mooring for the day to prepare ourselves for our very early start for the Tidal tomorrow. Plants are doing well. Basil, tomato, oregano. Ed. Some sort of boatyard. So we're at Sunbury Lock. It's 8:30. We've been going a very short amount of time, and we're stuck in a lock. We've got in, but the gates won't close behind us. There's two guys here in a small boat, and they've been here an hour. They rang the lockkeeper an hour ago, and they're apparently on their way from Teddington Lock to have a look at it. But Ed's now slightly concerned about our timing, because obviously we're now on a time limit to our crossing on Sunday tomorrow morning. So typical luck, but I can't imagine it's going to be a long wait because these Thames locks are so busy. They're not going to leave it a long time. I'm not particularly concerned at the moment, but we'll see. So Ed has managed to use, on these Thames locks, even though they are electronic, there is a manual wheel. So Ed's managed to manually close the gates with that manual wheel, and we've managed to open the sluices going out. So it would appear that hopefully, I mean, the water level is going down, so I'm hoping we've kind of got ourselves out of it. There is a bit of water coming through there, but that's not abnormal really. So hopefully we can be on our way, because when we called them back to check on the progress of the lockkeeper arriving, the National Centre told us that they hadn't even managed to get hold of him yet. So if we'd have sat tight, we could have been here for God knows how long. So hopefully we might have just got ourselves out of it. So we're out! Woohoo! Bit of common sense and brute force, yes.
There's a manual hydraulic pump on these on these Thames locks, but it's extremely slow. So you've got to move a lever to open and close the sluices, and move another lever to open the gates. But it is hard work.
So Eddie has earned his breakfast today.
I have.
So on we go, onwards to Hampton Court. Wow, look at this boat, everybody. Houseboat. It's just beautiful, look at that. Wouldn't mind living on that, would you?
I think it would be rather lovely, don't you? Look at these big things coming up.
It's a dog's life. So we're coming up to the grounds of Hampton Court Palace. Just trying to find a spot to moor for the night.
Yeah, no mooring.
No mooring here, so let's carry on a bit. There we are. Hampton Court Palace. More of Hampton Court. Look at the grand gates. There is cloud cover so far today. When we looked at the weather forecast last night, we were filled with dread because it was highs of 37, which was even hotter than yesterday. And yesterday, let's be honest, was quite unpleasant, wasn't it? So we were dreading it, but so far it's been okay. It might burn off later, but that's another reason why we wanted an early start. But hopefully it'll stay, because this is lovely. You can be outside without a cardi on. but it's not too hot. Jemima's just gone down for her morning nap because she got up earlier than usual, so we're taking advantage of it. So here we are, moored up at Kingston, right in the town centre pretty much. It's not even midday yet, must be about 11, half 11, and we're settling down here for the day, preparing for our very early start onto the tidal Thames tomorrow. And here we are in Kingston. Lovely place to spend the day before tomorrow's big adventure.
Oh, so here we are, sitting on the Thames in Kingston, only about 2 and a bit miles away from Teddington Lock, where it changes from being the Environment Agency to the Port of London and also the tidal Thames. I'm actually sitting here in the nude, so please don't come down from here.
No, he's not.
And
sorry to disappoint you, everybody.
I think they're not disappointed at all. You know, people will be complaining to Facebook, YouTube, and everything that I wasn't nude. Anyway, so down here is Kingston Bridge, which you might just be able to see, and we've got about 1.5 miles from there to do in the morning to get to Teddington Lock. We need to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I've got to do all my tests and everything, so we'll be leaving at first light at about 5:37.
Great.
I'm not that precise.
Great.
And we will be getting to the lock at about 7:15, and then we've got to get to Brentford Lock. So that's at Teddington Lock, and then we go through Richmond Lock, which hopefully at high tide we won't have to go through the lock. We can go round it and then off at Brentford, and then we'll be up on the Grand Union. But we met a chap today called Bob, who just happened to moor up here, who happens to be the other boat that he's crossing.
Yeah, fancy that.
So basically we've got a buddy. He's gone down to Teddington Lock because he's really quite anxious to be there in the morning, whereas I'm quite confident that I will be up at 5 a.m. Some reflections on the journey so far and the fact that we're nearing the end of it. One of the things that has struck me about this particular journey is that we've been lucky enough to be able to record it and share it with people, which has been fun, and also knowing that Jemima will probably not remember any of this will be fantastic for her to see. But I'm also glad that we're recording it for ourselves, because you forget the little stages, you get the general impression of it. But sitting here on the front deck here with the anchor at the ready, looking out on this majestic Thames and reflecting on how cities and towns make sense in some ways from the water, because they are built so much around that, and no place is truer of that than London and the Thames really, and we're heading that way. We've recorded some ups and downs, but really there haven't been many downs on this trip. We live with this sort of anxiety of things breaking down and things going wrong, but one of the things that the journey's taught me is that you just go out and do it, and you'll find a way, it will work out.
So it's going to take a lot of concentration on Ed's part, but he knows what to do now, which is what?
Push the rudder that way to go that way.
I thought you were going to say something actually interesting then. So it's going to take a lot of concentration on Ed's part and a lot of not distracting Ed on my part, hopefully. But even so, I am hoping to film it, because I think it's the sort of thing that people might be interested in, because in the boating community it is something that scares a lot of people, probably unnecessarily, so hopefully it'll be fine.
Well, it's so hot on the boat, we don't want to add any heat to it, so we're going to do a little bit of cooking out on the deck. This is the lovely old Trangia stove, which I'm running off a bit of gas here.
What are we having?
We're going to have a pasta dish. Oh, look at that big bit of it. Which is going to have a bit of onion, bacon, and some garlic, and some of the basil that we grew on the roof. And this is basically a simple Italian dish cooked in the outdoors. How lovely is that?
Well done. I'm looking forward to it. Here is our anchor. Don't make that joke, Ed, that you made yesterday. And hopefully we won't need to use this either. See, it's attached to a big chain. So we'll see you
Or
tomorrow.
you might not.
Yeah. You might see us on the Grand Union tomorrow, or you might see us floating and down to the Houses of Parliament going, oh no!
Have to see.
Time will tell. Bye! So, good morning everybody, it's 6 AM, we've been up half an hour. Excuse my fresh, no makeup face. Had a very, very bad night, unfortunately. Only got an hour's sleep, sadly, because I've developed some terrible toothache over the last couple of days. But I've taken some Pro Plus, I'm having some caffeine, I'm raring to go. So I have removed all the things off the shelves that could fall down and break, put them on the sofa behind a cushion. Likewise in the kitchen, I've removed everything and put it down on the floor on some towels. Life jackets are ready. I'm just going to move a couple of bits from Jemima's room to be a bit safer and less of a hazard if it does knock. I don't know why there's a spirit level in here. If it does knock us in any way. Oh, look. Oh. So, okay, so I think knock a little letters down for you. I think, to be honest, that's okay. We're on the way. Good morning, London. Beautiful, beautiful city. Would you like me to take your herbs inside to keep them safe, just in case? Okay. So we're coming up now to Teddington Lock, which is the gateway to the tidal Thames. Just through here, as you can see. Our buddy that we met last night, who's actually going through the lock with us, we met up with him just outside. He's just coming out now.
Bob and Jan.
His name is Bob and his wife is Jan, and we'll be going through the locks together. The London Port Authority / Environment Agency / Canal and River Trust do recommend that you have a buddy, just in case any of you get in difficulty. Highly unlikely at this time of year and weather and etc. But funnily enough, Bob was saying, he seems quite experienced, and he was saying if we could navigate the Kennet and Avon at Newbury with that river flow, then we can do anything. And it was certainly a challenge, wasn't it?
It was easy.
Oh, Ed, take a seat, take a pew.
Oh yes, I'll go and grab that, shall we? Small weir.
Good morning, Mr. Moorhen. Or Mrs. And here we are. And we've just done the lock at Teddington, just coming out of it. And we're now on the tidal Thames. You can see a little bit of flow here. Not a huge amount though. This is the section of the tidal Thames we're doing. I'm going to come up through Twickenham, Strawberry Hill, Petersham, Richmond. Hopefully Richmond Lock will just be open because it's high tide, but we'll see. And then past Kew Gardens, which would be nice. What's that? Sion House and Remains of Abbey. I don't know. And then off here. So this is the turning that everyone dreads. So this is where we've got to be very much on our best navigating skill. houses and same in the buildings along here. Interestingly, I don't know if you can see that, but the boats are actually moored up to buoys, because obviously with it being tidal, they need to cope with being able to go up and down with the tide. So you can't really moor in the same sort of way as we're used to, I suppose. There's also those the big long poles over there, which I assume is for mooring too, but I don't know.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
See, the water level's dropped already from high tide on them.
Oh yeah, look, yeah.
So we're going to start motoring quite a lot after lock.
Yeah.
Our challenge then is to control our speed.
Control the speed so we don't overshoot the lock.
Yeah.
The 2 amber lights up there. Yeah.
It tells you that that's the navigable arch.
Okay.
Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river.
This is Richmond Lock that we're just sailing on past. There was a little sign which I missed, but it was an illuminated sign that said weirs up, free flow, beware of wash. So that means that the tide is high enough that we can just sail on past it and not have to use the lock, which is great. So we're sailing on through. Oh, Eddie, I left something at Newbury. Can we go back and get it?
Yeah, I'll turn around.
Water's looking a little bit choppier now. Obviously some of that is our wash, but as you can see it's a little more sea-like, calm sea-like.
Got 9-kilometre headwind as well.
9-kilometre headwind. So we're working the old girl hard then.
No, we're not, we're just cruising.
Cruising, we're okay.
We're not straining.
Good.
We're going nice and easy.
Look at that big stretch of river there. How gorgeous is that? Wow. Nearly at the turn off, Eddie.
1 mile to go.
Actually going to be quite sad to say goodbye to the Thames. I absolutely love this river and I really love the electronic locks. We'll be back to the winding quays when we get onto the Grand Union. We've probably got a day's worth of sailing on the Grand Union, but we might stop overnight depending on how we feel. But yeah, I'm going to miss the Thames. Are you going to miss the Thames?
Oh, I've absolutely loved it. It's been such an adventure so far. But I'm not saying goodbye to you yet until I've actually left it.
No, fair enough. So here we are, coming up to the moment of truth, the turning off of the Thames. There goes Bob in front of us, our buddy. Let me know if I'm in your way, Ed. Let me know if I'm in your way. We're losing some speed now. Bob's in. Beautifully done by Bob there. Feel the waves chopping us about a bit there. And there's the sign, welcome to the Grand Union Canal. Edmund Draycott, well done. Goodbye, River Thames. We love you.